I believe that I am up here to present a few awards. Unfortunately, I arrived late. The only thing that I want to say is recognizing how much energy and effort it takes to produce this event. First of all, I'd like to, of course, acknowledge the 7 fine young men in front of us one more time. But also be remiss of me if I didn't thank and acknowledge the very hard-working brothers of the Epsilon Theta Lambda chapter of Alpha Alpha fraternity. Because whether or not they are working in the private sector, the public sector, or otherwise, they all have day jobs and they are taking their time without pay to make sure they put on events like this. And it's an incredible amount of work. So it is incredible to see every year how well our chapter manages to make sure that this event is. So congratulations to the chapter. You all didn't come here to hear me speak, and I know that it's been a long evening, so I'm not going to take much more time. But I do think that it is interesting for me that it has been 20 years since I've been an alpha. I crossed in 1998, so it's about 20 years, and I believe I can safely say that I've been an alpha longer than all of you all have been alive. Yes, I'm showing my age, Antoine. That's what happens. Well, without that, I'll hand it back over to Ms. Savaro so we can find out who won.
Thank you, Brother Freeburn. Before we go forward, I would like to introduce the Toastmasters, which helped these young gentlemen with their speeches. Mrs. Kim Kane's Best and Miss Ebony Frey.
Thanks. Good evening to Mr. Premier, to the Mr. President and brothers and members of the Alpha Phi Alpha Epsilon Theta Lambda chapter. This is our 5th year working with the Bows, and it has been our pleasure. Toastmasters is an international organization focused on public speaking and leadership. We have a presence in 126 countries and a presence here in Bermuda, and we put the Bows through their paces to get them to the standard which you have seen this evening.
Is one?
Yes.
Everybody, hello.
Hello.
You're still there. They're like, just announced the winner. But as Kim mentioned, we're here from Toastmasters, and what we do is put these guys through the paces. So the duration of the program, we meet them monthly, and we go over public speaking tips. We actually speak from a curriculum that's called Speechcraft, and it's a very introductory program to Toastmasters. But these are not just skills in order to win a competition like this. These are life skills that we're equipping these guys with. There's not one job ad that you'll see in the Royal Gazette that doesn't ask for oral and written communication skills. And over the 7 months, these guys have honed those skills, and it'll take them through to the next chapter as they enter college. We are delighted to be a part of this program, as Kim mentioned, 5 years now, and we see it go from strength to strength. When you called up the fellow Bows, we remember when they were in their high schools and competing in this competition, helping them. Something about tonight activates these boys. I know as parents you're probably looking on, that my child up there? Because they do. They represent you quite well when it comes to this competition. So a round of applause again for all the Bows that competed tonight.
So this evening, we have 3 awards that we will be awarding to the Bows. The first is the Toastmaster Award, the individual who has been most consistent, who has come to our sessions prepared, and who has embodied the characteristics of a Toastmaster. We also have the Best Impromptu Speech, which is actually a new award this evening, and then the Best Speech. Unfortunately, I think it was last year we got Best Speech and the overall winner wrong, so hopefully we can overcome that this year. But the Toastmaster Award, the individual who was most prepared, most consistent, and embodied the characteristics of a Toastmaster this year is Rodrigo Lira. The second award is for the impromptu question. You may wonder why this is on the program, but impromptu speaking is an important skill to have in one's professional arsenal. This evening, the impromptu speaker, the best impromptu speaker, was Matthew Daniel.
All right, and before we hand over the mic, the final award that we give tonight is actually for the best speech or the prepared speech. And tonight we give this award unanimously to Aaron Ratteray.
Thank you again, Toastmasters. As soon as BI is finished, I'm ready for them to settle down. All right, so now I have the hard task of telling you guys who the winners are for this evening. I hope no one gets mad at me afterwards. All right, so in third place, we have representing Berkeley Institute, Mr. Antoine Jones. In second place, we have representing MSA, Rodrigo Lira. And in first place, representing Bermuda Institute, Aaron Ratteray. Can I get all the brothers, all the Alpha brothers on stage?
One bound, one sound.